Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ibadihi alladhina istafa. Amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First and foremost, we thank and praise the Almighty Allah who has given us the opportunity to connect to each other at this hour, wherever we may be connecting to each other from. May the Almighty Allah bless us, may He guide us. We send peace, blessings and salutations upon His beloved Nabi Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions and all those that follow him in righteousness until the day of Qiyamah. May the Almighty Allah make us among them. Welcome to this series of discussion wherein in today's episode we are going to kickstart our discussion on entrepreneurship from an Islamic perspective. Entrepreneurship is defined as the activity of setting up a business or businesses, taking on financial risk in the hope of making profit. And as such, studies on entrepreneurship from an Islamic perspective are still lacking. In general, entrepreneurial studies conducted by previous researchers focused on economic aspect, institutional, political, psychological, and social perspective, while in the aspect of religion, still little has been done. And as such, a holistic approach to entrepreneurship research that combines religion, in this case Islam, can complement and enrich entrepreneurship in both theory and practice. The study of the value of Islamic entrepreneurship is one that is quite interesting to study, as 1.6 billion of the world's population, constituting about 23% of the world population, are Muslims. And Islam is the second largest religion in the world, that is expected to grow to about 2.3 billion, that is 26.4% of the world's population by the year 2030. So for many Muslims, religion has an important role in their life, in the way they live. In recent years, various conferences such as the World Islamic Economics or the Global Islamic Economic Summit were conducted, and they have concentrated on and increased awareness of the intersection of Islam and Islamic economics. The Muslim customer market is rapidly growing. It is increasing, and entrepreneurs are developing new products to respond to demand. Now, given this trend, reflection on the interaction between Islam and entrepreneurship is very much relevant. In other countries, namely Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Turkey, and Iran, it is clear that combining faith-based beliefs with encouragement for productive business is possible and can be very beneficial. And some may argue that evidence of the impact of entrepreneurship on development in Muslim and Arab countries as part of developing countries can be found using the idea of local and systemic entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is an innovative activity to exploit business and business opportunities. And entrepreneurship is thus a skill and innovation that is used by someone to take the initiative to be involved in productive effort to achieve their goals. And entrepreneurs are people who have the ability and the mentality to start a business, to either produce goods or to provide services and thus generate profit for themselves. Now, the basic framework of entrepreneurship based on Islam is taqwa and the worship of the Almighty Allah. Taqwa being the consciousness of the Almighty Allah. And within this framework, there are other elements that complement Islamic entrepreneurship that includes the concept of halal, the concept of efficiency, noble values, honesty, prosperity, concern for the community as well as the environment. And thus Islamic entrepreneurship is developed from the foundation of Islamic monotheism or the oneness of the Almighty Allah, which consists of three things: Al-Iman being the faith, and Al-Ilm being the knowledge, and Al-Amal being pious behavior and effort. So entrepreneurship in Islam is a worship that will get reward if implemented according to the Islamic law. And the skills of each individual must be developed, but not everyone have the same skills. And so entrepreneurship is part of the Islamic economic system. And Islamic entrepreneurship must operate in the domain of the Islamic economic system and act as a vehicle towards global acceptance of that particular system or of the system, the Islamic system. The principles of Islamic entrepreneurship are taken from the science, from the good science of the Quran and Hadith. And so Muslim entrepreneurs are defined as entrepreneurs who always act in accordance with Islamic principles and values. In other words, a Muslim entrepreneur can be considered a person who invests not only in making economic, social, environmental, or political or social meaning, but beyond that in seeking the gifts from the Almighty Allah. In Islam, there is a clear difference between a believer and a Muslim. Meanwhile, the first is a person who is very close to Allah and fully obeys all of His commands, who then are people who are born as Muslims or follow Islam, or follow those commands either in full or in part. A Muslim can therefore find himself inclined to some wrong practices. A Muslim, even though he expresses his belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he can falter and fall down. This might happen due to little observation of the principles or rules of the Sharia, or this can be due to negligence or ignorance. But in spite of this, a Muslim will try all means possible to align himself or herself to the teachings of Islam. May Allah grant us the correct understanding, and until we meet once again, inshallah, in our next episode, wherein we are going to look at the characteristic of an Islamic entrepreneurship. Until then, جعلنا الله وإياكم من الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه وأشكركم على حسن استماعكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.